So I just finished drawing 3 more of my subscribers and I'm very excited to show you how they turned out. So let's get into it. First up, I'm drawing Milk Tea Cat, and while I do pick who I draw kind of randomly, this one I'm just so excited to share it with you, so I'm gonna play this one first. But they're sweet, like Lolita style, and like the petticoats, like it was just right up my alley, and I thought it would really suit my simple jelly bean style where I draw. It's almost chibi, I guess you could say, but it's like, you know, a lot of round shapes, very simple and pudgy. It's just a very fun style to draw with, and I thought, oh, I think it would look so cute with what they were wearing, so I decided to draw them in that style. And here we are already on this. I didn't do a second sketch layer, actually. I did a first sketch layer, and now I'm working on the line art, and then added the piercings underneath their mouth and their cute hairstyle. Like everything about this image was just so cute, and I couldn't wait to draw it. Like I was so excited that this was the one that got picked, because it was just right up my alley. Because when I did my video about like doing guilty pleasure art, it's very similar to this, so it's like, hey, this is what I would draw for myself. So getting to be able to draw this and have it be a gift for someone is just it's just spectacular. I'm just very, very happy about this. I chose to do the hands kind of like, I don't know why, it just kind of suit the style. This wasn't the way they were standing. They were standing like they were holding their skirt up a little bit, and it just made me think of this pose. But I also wanted to draw it a little bit free, if that's correct. Like they're not standing on anything in this illustration, they're sort of floating there. So I feel like those hands just helped portray the fact that they're free and floating. So that was kind of the idea behind the hands, and I kind of just wanted to try to draw hands that way and see what would happen. So that was kind of an experiment on my part. And then I added their purse as well, which was adorable. Like everything about their outfit was just so cute. Oh, and then there with the hair, you'll see there's some sections of this drawing where I kind of filled in the line art like really darkly, like contrasting with some of the thinner line art. And I was kind of experimenting with something, because I know Inktober is coming up and I do want to try it. But this was kind of an experiment to see where can I push it, to see where I can add these dark tones without it like throwing off the balance of the image, and maybe even help the image be more I don't know what the word is for that, just it's almost like trying to get away without shading. So I'm just trying to make the line art more fluid and more expressive, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Anyway, adding in some more color. Their dress was actually very, very complicated and had a very gorgeous pattern, and I think it had like bunnies on it and strawberries maybe, but I decided to simplify it just a little bit. I believe that stroke about the stripe around the hem of the skirt had like a bunch of characters in it, but I decided to leave it a little bit, you know, just a stripe. Sorry if that's disappointing, but I do go in at the end and add some more detail to the whole dress. I add some like polka dots and like hearts. So I didn't follow the reference exactly, but I sort of made it my own and still represented the original image. Yeah. Anyway, here is, I added, oh, actually, I did some color adjusting, so played with the color balance, and then here's where I'm adding a lot more detail, because I'm like, it's just a little too simple. It doesn't really quite capture what I wanted to capture. So then I added the polka dots, and that's when it started looking like a beautiful strawberry, and it was just, I don't know, it was just so fun. And I'm just really happy with the way this one turned out. Like the floatiness, the expressiveness, and the blush and the hair and the colors and everything in the line art, like being that like reddish brown. I'm very, very happy with this one, and I really hope Milk Tea Cat likes it. So yeah, thank you for using the hashtag DrawMeWiffWaffles, and yeah, I hope you liked it. Next up, and I'm not entirely sure how to pronounce their username, but I think it's Pakia Spam or Pachia Spam. Either way, thank you for entering, and I'm very happy to be drawing you. The image that they tagged with the hashtag DrawMeWiffWaffles was a very simple selfie, and I was very inspired by their hair and the way that it fell in front of their face. So you'll see in this sketch like how exaggerated I've made that hair foof. So I was having a lot of fun with that part of it. And the other thing about this image in particular was that her pose was just so relaxed, and she was just, you know, sitting there, and I was like, I should really try to draw and capture that pose, because I think especially when I was beginning with art, my poses were very, very stiff. You know, I think most people struggle with that, as I do. And what we end up doing is we try to put space between like every body part. So like the head has to be, you know, a neck length away from the shoulders. And that's really not how we see people. Like in a photo, usually if they're leaning forward a little bit, their head looks like it's coming out of their chest almost. This one's not that exaggerated, but it's something to think about when you're drawing someone in a more relaxed pose. Or another thing I used to do when I was just started drawing people was like their arms would never cross in front of their chest or their torso at all. So I would always draw like, you know, pretzel elbows. And when you're drawing a person in a relaxed pose like this one, you can see the arms sort of just slightly cover in front of like the torso, and then they go over the legs as well. And if I had been drawing this in with pretzel elbows, like I said before, you know, they'd be sticking out more, and there'd be that white space between the arms and the torso, which can sometimes be more flattering, I suppose, but it's really not realistic. So I decided to take this opportunity to practice that sort of technique and apply it to my own style, you know, without it being super realistic, but having those like hints of realism. It's basically why we study references. It's very important to study references so that you can sort of apply your style to those techniques or those things that we see in real life, and it'll just add that little extra something to your art and really bring a more, it's I keep saying realistic, but it's not realism. It's adding that hint of what we see in everyday life to our art that is very exaggerated. But when you put those things together, you can get a much more, I feel like, appealing piece of art. Well, no, not appealing piece of art. It's what I'm going for with my art, is what I'm trying to say. I really want to capture like a cartoony, but not so cartoony that it's impossible sort of thing. I don't know. I'm trying to find that fine point, and sometimes I swing too far to the left, sometimes I swing too far to the right, but eventually I'm going to find it. And especially with my jelly bean style, like the picture previously, that one is very much, woo, like that is just way over in left field, very cartoony. But for my like main style, I kind of like try to, you know, I try to play around with it a little bit more. All in all, I'm very happy with the way this one turned out. I feel like the face is very, very inviting, and like the t-shirt looks soft. Oh, and I flipped the canvas right there, and you'll see the eyes just looked skewed, and I had to like adjust that a little bit more and like tweak those, and you'll see me flip back and forth. It's very important to flip your canvas, people. Just do it. You'll know exactly what I'm talking about when you do it. You'll just see all the mistakes, and then you can fix them. So it's really nice. Sometimes it's a little overwhelming, and you're like, holy moly, like look at all the things I have to fix. But trust me, it's better in the long run. Anyway, this is the finished version of Pakia Spam. Hopefully I'm saying that right. Thank you so much for using the hashtag DrawMeWiffWaffles, and I really hope the way you like this turned out. What did I just say? That didn't make any sense, but I hope you like it. And thirdly, I'll be drawing My Name's Kyra. I'm very excited about drawing this one. Well, I was before I drew it. I've already drawn it. What am I saying? My brain. Okay. Because they were wearing this like big cozy scarf. I think that was even their caption. It was just like, big cozy scarf. And I'm like, heck yes. So I'm very excited to be drawing this one. And they also had like those round circular glasses, which glasses are always a struggle to draw, but I enjoy that struggle. Like that's one of those struggles where I'm like, yes, give me more. I enjoy this challenge. So that is some of the things going through my brain when I was doing it. I don't think I captured their likeness very well, so I'm not entirely happy with like the face, but I had a lot of fun like practicing proportions, and you'll see later on I adjust a lot of the facial features and move them around, trying to get, you know, a more capture their likeness more. That's what I'm trying to say. And the other thing was with their hair. I'd never drawn hair in this style before, or this type of hair before, so it was very interesting to like learn and practice it and try to simplify it into my style, even though I had never drawn it before. So that was another thing. So I basically tried to simplify it as much as possible. So I thought of it all as like one big shape, and then I used smaller shapes to try to add small details to like try to just represent the shape of the hair. And you'll see like their style, particularly like it had that one section that's pulled back, so I had to capture that, and so that one has a few more of the strokes because I had to, you know, try to create the illusion, because art is all about the illusion of something that's real, and I'm trying to capture that when I'd never drawn that style before. And the other thing is with the scarf, I play around with like that shape a lot. And I think this is the one that I stick with right there. Oh, and another thing is like this one I didn't draw like a full body or anything. This was a pretty close-up selfie, and just like last time when I did drawing subscribers and someone did a close-up selfie, I kind of just captured the face and made it a weird illustrative thing where like they had no body. I kind of did the exact same thing with this one, but I was able to play around with that scarf instead of having to play with like super long hair. I played around with this scarf and used it as, you know, a way to end the pose. So it's kind of like a bust, but I mean there's no bust, you know, like a sculpture that's like a bust. I don't know what I'm trying to say, but I really like the way it looks, so I hope you do too. It was really interesting to experiment with like the shape of the scarf and like not having a body under it, but like imagining where the shoulders would be and having that scarf come off of it from there. Then once the line art was done, I added in some color. The colors ended up being really muted in this. I'm not entirely sure. It wasn't something I was going for. Like I didn't think about it going in, but they ended up really pastel in a way. But I do enjoy the colors, but at the very end I kind of tweak it and they become a lot more bold and saturated, and I do like the end result better. But right here, oh, and painting those glasses, that was really interesting. I learned, I don't remember when I learned this, but I learned that like the color gold has like undertones of green, and it really helps capture that gold color, because sometimes when you're trying to paint gold digitally, you like just grab an orange color and you're like, that doesn't look anything like gold, even though when I look at gold I see the color orange or brown or one of those things. But adding just that little bit of green really helps. And then lastly, all I did was adjust the color balance to try to create a better color scheme throughout like the color range that I used, and then added some details to the hair as well, like some extra strands of hair, and that was just about it. Yeah, this is the finished version of My Name's Kyra. I really hope you like the way it turned out. I had a lot of fun drawing this one, and yeah, thank you guys for watching. If you're interested in having me draw you in a future video, you can use the hashtag DrawMeWiffWaffles over on Instagram. I look forward to seeing you over there. Anyway, I hope you all have a delicious evening full of waffles. Bye!